Hey everybody, welcome to the Infinite Regression. Check it out. It's so infinite. Um, yeah, you guys have like no idea how much the beings of the infinite regression that just wait around for the spooky type month, and now this is spooky type month, they're just so excited, you know? They have been waiting and waiting and waiting, and now is like exactly what they've been waiting for this whole time. And yeah, they just can't wait to get to work. Anyway, hey, when you get that seasonal affective disorder in mid-November, hey, that's these guys. They got you. Anyway, don't even worry about it. Hey, let's do a thing. Oh, look at what this is. Haha. Bet you didn't know that this was going to be a thing. Anyway, I'm gonna. Oh ho, careful. Um, we're gonna play the theme song.
This has always been the theme song. This right here, what I am singing, this has always been and will always be the theme. Yes, we are in complete agreement. The things that we have both been singing about are indeed the theme. And now it should be apparent to all personages within the sound of our voices that we have been singing the one and true theme song, the only theme song that exists and will ever be in the world. Amen. And whatnot. Cha.
Okay, they did it, man. I swear to God, that theme song seems like it's getting longer. I know that it shouldn't be getting longer, but it seems like it has, in fact, gotten longer. Anyway, let's go into the world now. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I'm not even listening to the audio of the game right now. I'm only doing this because I'm listening to the field mice. Wait, why do I have an arrow in my possession right now? Why is that a thing I'm carrying? Um, Probably killed a skeleton when I last left the world. Oh, that's right. I had to start putting. Yeah, had to start putting torches down because creepers kept appearing. Anyway, so I'm liking my little island more and more. Um, yeah, liking my checkerboard floor. That's looking pretty sweet. Anyway, good stuff. Um, what do I want to do? I guess I could lay down some more cobble type stone around the edge. Should hang on to my diorite. But yeah, yeah, I'll just fall down there. That'd be a good idea. No, come on. Let's put down some more cobble type stone, and then we need to get some more dirt. Which, dirt is starting to feel a little harder to come by than it was before. Used to be very plentiful when I was digging up my own island, and now not so much. Well, and I started digging up other islands, but I'm getting down to the cobblestoney bit on that other island. So I'm getting more cobblestone than I'm getting dirt from the island, which is not what I need right now. So anyway, Did I mention what I'm listening to? I'm trying to finish. I'm listening to the Field Mice on the recommendation from a friend of mine, music nerd, um, because we were having a discussion about like bands that you wish you had gotten into at the right time. You know how sometimes there's like a time to be into a band. You can get into a band at any time, but it feels like there is a time where you can like when you're younger, you can really obsess. Like I obsessed over Weezer um in my youth. And so I know entirely too much about Weezer and I care too much about them and yeah, I have opinions on like unreleased tracks that they haven't even released on their, unreleased track compilations. The official ones that they put out. I mean, Rivers Cuomo did the Alone series of recordings, which like there was almost nothing on there that I didn't already have, but I bought all of them because I support the band. Like, if anything Weezer comes out, I support it financially. Uh, I almost, I really should listen to the new Weezer albums now because, I try to listen to them when I'm, clear headed and bright eyed and whatnot, and that's not going to happen this year. But also, I have a long history of Weezer albums meaning a lot to me in times of great trial and tribulation, trouble and sorrow, And so, I am in such a time period in my life right now, you know, because I have stupid students trying to, it's a whole thing. Anyway, I don't want to talk about it. I really don't. And I shouldn't because it's ongoing matter, like I find out Wednesday of this coming week. Oh yeah, let's throw bread on the ground. Find out Wednesday of this coming week whether or not I'm going to be disciplined for this. I might be suspended for as many as 2 days over this, which like I I don't care about the suspension as much as I do about what it says about how I am not really valued. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to get into it too much, but let's just say that like the one thing I've learned through all this is that as far as the administration at my school is concerned, like I could pack it up tomorrow and they would not give a crap about it. Like they wouldn't miss me, they would not care. And so that's a harsh truth to face down. And you know, I'm an adult. I should not be so like I don't know, starry-eyed and idealistic as to assume that an employer actually cares about their employee. Like employers that care about their employees are very few and far between, and most people do not work for such places. That is a fact. It's not an opinion, it's not conjecture, it's not like, feelings and thoughts and whatnot. It's just that's how it is. Um anyway, we can't make things be other than they are by simply wishing that they were different. That's not how the universe operates. So understand that and you'll feel a lot better. Maybe. Ooh. Kitties fighting in the background. That's good. Oh man. I'm gonna dig up this island, but like it's going to strand a whole bunch of chickens. Sorry, chickens. You should have gone on to the other island. You really should have. The other island's better. Also, like when the child molester that I know, that's not talk too much about that because that is also an ongoing matter. You know, the long arm of the law still needs to catch up to that fiend and put him behind bars where, you know, murderers and gangbangers will look down on him and be like, you are sick. You are disgusting. And that'll be good because he doesn't feel like he has done anything wrong. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, the man molested a child and is like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's the old saying that everyone is the hero of their own story. And, you know, it's really interesting to watch it happen when you know that the person who thinks that they are the hero of the story is the villain of so many people's stories. Like, and they're like, no, I'm the good guy. Why is everyone doing this to me? Why are people ganging up on me? Why has my life been affected negatively in any way? And it barely has, by the way. Barely has at all. Anyway. So, yeah. He's a terrible person, and, you know, maybe someday he'll rot in prison. But, like, also, our justice system is wildly flawed, and, like, the more the more I study things like determinism and, well, philosophy in general, especially moral philosophy, I question the way in which we approach justice in the first place, except in the case of pedophilia, because that is, like, we have to think about the society that we want to build, and, like, obviously there are parameters for the society that we want. Like, we want a society in which all teachers have depression and anxiety, and that all of them spend their Sunday nights working super hard and fretting and sometimes crying and feeling just so depressed. And that's what we want. And then we want those people to go through all of that and then, like, wild amounts of scrutiny for every little thing that they do, for every moment of the day, as they take care of the least rational humans on the planet, your children. And then let's not pay these people very well for doing a job that you wouldn't do for 5 seconds. Like, it's, yeah. I complain about it a lot, but there is a lot to complain about, especially in this day and age. Watch Lewis Black. Like, Lewis Black, one of the great comedians. I love Lewis Black. Anyway, he has a couple of rants about teachers and the way that teachers are treated in our society. And, yeah, they're beautiful and wonderful, and it just make, like, honestly, at this point, as an educator, it makes me feel good that anyone is like, yeah, I get it. I understand. I'm like, you do? Oh, that's more than I've ever gotten before. I didn't even get that from my own freaking administration, and they used to be teachers, allegedly. Anyway, shouldn't say things like that. That's very rude. Anyway, yeah, just wrapping up a Sunday. It's been a lot of work, and, you know, like a lot of Sundays, I've been down to my classroom because, of course, I have. And, like, uh, so here we go. Yeah. My friend who was fired from her teaching job in Utah, and she might be one of the best teachers I know. Um, she's certainly got to be up there. Like, she is so dedicated, so smart, so good at what she does. Like, honestly, we were hanging out one time, and she gets a phone call from a student one of her students who had just gotten a scholarship, and they called her first, you know. And it's like, oh, hey, Dingus, go call your mom, like, but the student was so grateful to my friend that, like, they were calling her first. Anyway, regardless, yeah, she got fired for, like, ticky-tacky, stupid, petty bullcrap, like you do. How you get rid of a really good teacher, you just choose some nonsense that nobody gives a crap about and fire them over that. Like, of course, what is this, not 2021? Anyway, swear to God, sometimes it is so very, very not worth it so many times. And, yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. Let's talk about literally anything else. Let's talk about literally anything else, because anything else is better. So, one of the things that I have heard is that if you have nearby islands, they affect the spawn rates of friendly mobs. And so, if you cut them down to just below the water line so that they are one block below water, then obviously mobs can't spawn there, and you increase the likelihood of friendly mob spawns on your island. I don't know if that's true or not, but it seems like maybe. Anyway. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the field mice right now. They're the special kind of, like, indie, beautiful, chamberish, depressing, like, it's good. It's good kind of depressing. That's how we like it. Anyway, this isn't going to be a very long episode, by the way. Like, I'm going to keep it nice and short. I'm just going to do a few things. I'm mainly just playing to play because it's fun and I like to, and whatever. Like, I actually had a bit more playtime earlier in the weekend. I have a hard time with my weekends. It's part of the reason why I sought help in terms of getting medicated for anxiety and depression, because I always feel all of this pressure on the weekends. Wait, I think that was the last song. I think that was it. Okay, yeah, that was it. And take these headphones off. Ugh. Boy. Yeah, I don't know how people do that with cans on while they're recording because it makes your vocals, you sound like Charlie Brown's teacher to yourself. Obviously, to other people you might not, but like to yourself, you sound exactly like Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah, 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 wah. Anyway. Ho ho. Anyway, got that done. It's funny. So I spent 10 years of my life listening to all of my music because I wanted to be grateful and not just be acquiring all the time. Because, capitalism is a huge lie. It's a lie that we tell ourselves to appease ourselves for, like, I would say that capitalism is the primary distraction. If we're talking about distractions of a of the type that Heidegger was talking about when he said that we distract ourselves from our own death and from the inevitability thereof. Hold up. And so we play this zero sum game called Capitalism. And it's a game where is very difficult to win and very easy to lose. Well, no, that's not entirely true. It's easy to win if you are born and raised by people who have already won. That's how that gets done. So, yeah. Capitalism. A good time and a good idea for all. But no, it just teaches us to be in this constant state of like, oh, it's not good enough. The life that I have is not good enough. The things that I own are not good enough. And, the idea that has been put out there so much is that, like, you see the way that people sell things now with this whole, like, they're not selling items. They are selling identities. They are selling entire formulated identities to say, like, hey, do you want to be this guy? Do you want to be this girl? Do you want to date this girl? Do you want to date this guy? Well, then we sell the products that these specific people like. And if you want to have any chance of being as happy as the people in this commercial, you are going to need our products and our products alone. And it's so stupid because we are like, I think that the current generation is realizing the hopelessness of mankind's struggle against the pit that we have dug for ourselves in capitalism. Because and you would think, like, oh, but isn't our country founded on principles of capitalism, and isn't it the best way? Capitalism and freedom, they go hand in hand. No, they don't. Not necessarily. Like, I think that one of the I will direct you to two places, and you take part into you go ahead and enjoy two things, and then tell me if you learned anything about capitalism. The first, interestingly enough, is the episode on the Adam Ruins Everything episode on cars. Because he talks about how cars took over our streets and how we've been sold on the idea that you need a car. And we've been sold on the idea that you need a car, and those of us on the West Coast have been sold on the idea so hard that it has actually become true. Like, you really, really can't live your life here on the West Coast without a car. We did it that way, and it's very stupid, and one of the dumbest things that we've ever done to ourselves, honestly. So, hooray. We did it. Oh, why is that happening in a world one man? Anyway. So, yeah, we have played this trick on ourselves, and we've told ourselves that it's working out fine when in fact it isn't. And if we invested considerably less money into public transportation, clean, efficient, effective public transportation, then we would be able to get around. We would alleviate traffic quite a bit because, is it that traffic is completely unnecessary? No, it's not. It's not that at all. It's just that, like, we have told ourselves that, like, we are Americans and that part of our identity is what we drive. And that is the way that it has been, and that is the way that it must be. And so, part of our rugged American individualism is driving cars, even though it is objectively worse for so many reasons. Like, obviously, if you're a person who has ever complained about traffic and has not stopped to think that you are traffic to everyone else, like, everyone else on the road looks at your car and is like, freaking traffic. You know what I'm saying? And you look at their cars and you're like, freaking traffic. It takes a little bit of sense to realize that, like, wait, we are all the same. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Is there a better way? And in fact, there is and has been for, well over 100 years. We just have not, we haven't gotten it down. We just haven't. And there is a massive erosion of the things that are owned publicly. How many things do you know of that are owned publicly, that are part of the public, that you can just go there and you don't have to exchange money for anything? You can just go there and do things and be in a space where you don't have to pay to be there, and you can just, enjoy your own community. The community that, by the way, you are a part of. And the, massive multinationals that wish that they could, turn the whole thing into a parking lot for those cars that they're trying to sell you. And by the way, like, how the frick did we get to a point? Like, I love that there's an SNL sketch about this, but, like, the whole, like, December to Remember event, that guy goes out and buys a car for his family, and they're like, you freaking moron. You sidled us with debt for another several years to pay off this freaking thing that we don't need. It's, that's what they're trying to do. And, like, it's it's a gigantic problem because capitalism tells us that we always need. And in order to get us to need things, they tell us that we're constantly not enough. Well, it always works because nobody ever feels like they're enough. We're all wildly insecure. We as human beings are just insecure. That is our nature. And we just all go around all the time feeling like, oh my God, I'm not enough. I don't measure up. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good looking enough. I'm not, nice enough. I'm not well read enough. I don't own enough cool things. When people come over to my house, what are they thinking about? My house itself. Is my house big enough? And what do they see parked outside? Is it a good car? Is it a bad car? Is it a car I should be embarrassed about? Oh my God, I'm not good enough. You know, that's what they want you to feel like so that they can make money. And, as someone who has not felt like they're enough for his whole life, I can tell you that I've purchased a lot of things. When people come over to my house and they see my record collection, which is vast, by the way, part of the reason it took so long to listen to all my music. I'm talking about my vinyl records. They cover, significant space in our living room. They cover like about a third of the living room. Anyway, like significant amount of space. And when people see that, they're like, oh my God, like that is super cool. And I'm like, yeah, my CDs I don't even have a place for them to be on shelves. Like I don't even have like floor space in the house to have shelves out to put them on. That's how many I have. And same with my video games. Like I've never ever in my life ever gotten rid of a video game console. I've only ever acquired consoles. And so I have everything. Not everything, but I've got to the casual observer, I've got things you've never heard of. I do. Do you have a Vectrex? Because I do. It's like that. So, and my Vectrex doesn't have hum issues. And I have cracked the case on the controller myself and have actually fixed my own Vectrex controller. Because like you can't get replacements. And so I did it myself. And that is an experience. You ever want to like do something nerve-wracking? You ever want to feel like, it would be less nerve-wracking and less panic-inducing to try to defuse a bomb? Yeah, crack open a Vectrex controller. Anyway, so like, yeah, I have acquired many things. And are they cool things? Yeah, they're freaking cool. Do I want to get rid of them? Like, do I want to Marie Kondo the whole thing and just chuck it because, like, I'll feel better if my life is more simple? Well, guess what? Like, the whole simple living thing is its own cult of you're not enough. Because, they have you buy all this stuff and then they have you get rid of it. And then they have you buying stuff that's more simplistic. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of a sudden, like, you're going to look around your house and you're going to be like, oh, I need, like, things that I own are too busy. I need it to be, like, single colors, no print, like, because there's a whole aesthetic that goes along with the whole minimalistic lifestyle, and it's an entire other thing that you can start buying stuff for. It's like when the whole DIY culture thing started, and people were like, hey, I can do it myself. I can make it out of, wooden pallets that I find, and uh, all that sort of stuff, right? You know, well, all of a sudden, uh, craft stores and whatnot are like, hey, we can make money off of this. So, like, why don't we sell the things that people need in order to do their DIY projects? Only they're not really DIYing it because they're not using stuff that they find around the house. They're using stuff that they find at us for, like, you know, uh, 60, $80 a shopping trip for just one project that, like, the person who did it with random stuff from around their house was like, yeah, and it only costs like $5. I only spent $5 on this bookshelf that I built, and that was for the nails or whatever, like, um, yeah, that's a whole thing too. Like, every little nook and cranny of your life that capitalism can worm its way into, it has wormed its way into. Like, honest to God, I think the most intelligent commentary on this is provided by Futurama, where, like, this is just one of many reasons why Futurama might very well be the greatest show ever made. But and quite frankly, I don't know if someone comes at you with Futurama as the greatest show ever made, that argument, how do you counter it? How could you? How could you possibly? Like, what? Do you not like Futurama? I mean, it is a solid stance to take. It is difficult to defend against, is what I'm telling you. Anyway, so yeah, in Futurama, the character Fry, when he is unthawed in the future, if you don't know the show, he's cryogenically frozen through a series of mishaps or perhaps circumstances that were put into place by aliens. You know, watch the friggin' show. It's great. It is absolutely great. Yeah, it just is. It just is. Freaking deal with it. It's amazing. So yes, in Futurama, this character who is from our time, is frozen and wakes up 1,000 years into the future. And there we go. Yeah. And the fun thing about that is that he gets to learn all about what has happened to humanity over that period of time, which provides the show with the ability to make hilarious commentary on our current time without being too heavy-handed. It's a brilliant premise. It's kind of like how it is a much more hilariously satirical version of what Star Trek did. Star Trek did the, like, oh, this guy is half white and half black, and that guy's half black and half white, and they're aliens. And, to the casual observer, these two species could not look more different. But, to themselves, they're like, no, how dare you think that we look anything like them? They are scum. And then the others are like, how dare you say that we're scum? You're the ones who are scum. Anyway, but they use that to teach about racism. Well, Futurama did the same thing with so many aspects of our culture. But the one that I appreciate the most, that I think about often, is when Fry has his first dream in the future. Like, when he wakes up in future times and he has his first dream. And his dream is interrupted by an ad for this particular brand of underwear. And and then, he tells everyone, he's like, I had the weirdest dream, it was the normal stuff. I was, playing nude backgammon with, no, what was he doing? Like, it's like something with Pamela Anderson, who was a big deal at the time when the show came out. I don't know, something like that. But then, it's been a while. I need to refresh my, appreciation of the show, because I have seen it many times. I just honestly haven't sat down and gone back through the entire show in, oh God, I want to say a decade. I think a whole decade of my life slipped by without me revisiting Futurama at all. I need to definitely, like, how in the world do you stay on top of anything anymore? Too much content. We're spoiled for choice. Anyway, regardless. So the thing is that in Futurama, Fry has this dream, and in the dream there's a commercial, and when he wakes up, he tells everyone about it, and they're like, yeah, didn't they have commercials in dreams in your time? And he's like, no, they had commercials everywhere else, that I'm on billboards and not like, he starts listing off places where they had commercials, and was like, but our dreams, no. And so, like, it's this sort of double commentary where it's like, yeah, in the future, if they could broadcast commercials subconsciously directly into your dreams, they absolutely would. Anyway, so yeah, the ad is for this specific brand of underwear, and then later in the episode, he goes out and he purchases that exact brand of underwear, which is so very telling of the psychology of advertising, is that you can hate ads. You can hate ads all you want, but they freaking work. Think of the dumbest ads you've seen. There's some real pieces of crap out there, but guess what? You freaking remember them, and when you need that particular product or service, guess what you're thinking of first? Oh, I know. It's freaking fiendishly fiendish and devilishly devilish, and should not be allowed. I think the entire concept of advertising shouldn't be allowed. Like, just, if you can't say what it is in like 10 seconds, you need a guy with overalls to come on and explain it in simple English in less than 10 seconds. You know what I'm saying? That'll be your ad. There you go. So I guess we aren't going to have any ads for mutual funds. Oh my God. But yeah, it is such a clever piece of satire there in Futurama, because, like, even though he hates the ad has worked. And that's what it's like in the real world. And I have seen that happen time and time again. I hate advertising, and I hate feeling like I'm being sold anything. And then I go right out and I purchase things that have been sold to me. Ugh, God, that's frustrating. Anyway, well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't even know what I came here to say. But I think I've said none of it. Oh, no, I was going to talk about how, like, I've been doing this music listening project, or I did the music listening project, and now I've got all the musics that I wanted to listen to when I was doing my music listening project, but I wasn't acquiring new music because I didn't have time to acquire new music. And so now I've acquired new stuff, and I have to go through the process of listening to that. And part of the new stuff that I've acquired is my older brother's entire music collection, which is all classical, by the way. So that's going to be fun to listen to. And I don't mean like that's, I'm not saying that in a snide, sarcastic sort of way. I mean, it is going to be fun to listen to. He has a lot of very interesting stuff. There are a lot of, composers that I don't know as well as I should, Adams, for instance. Like, come on. He's done some wonderful things, but do I know them? Not necessarily. Not necessarily at all. I'm trying to think of the great composer composed for the organ, not Bach. That really narrows it down. Anyway, but yeah, I've got some great classical music to look forward to. I still have like a bazillion Fish shows and this other jam band that I've gotten into called Goose. I've only heard some of their stuff, but I really dig it, and I dig their whole vibe, and I like what they've done during quarantine, and I just, I'm excited. New, cool jam band, I mean, they're not that new, but they are super cool. So, anyway, I still have a ton of music to listen to, and so, like, Field Mice, which was recommended to me before I finished my music listening project, I got the, there's a double disc Field Mice compilation, because, like, all of their albums are out of print and hard to come by, and they as a band are kind of forgotten, except by freaking music nerds like myself. Some music nerds know what's up. Come on, dude. I wish my spawner worked faster. Like, would it work faster if that was not glass? I feel like if that was not glass, it might work faster. Because, like, reasons, porpoises. Come on, there was at least one guy in there. Dude. Now, is it working less fast? Is it working not at all? I admit, I don't know jack diddly squat about spawners. All I knew about them is that, like, you make spawners and you use them to kill stuff. That's what I know about spawners. Okay, I'm gonna need a piece of glass then. Don't I have glass in here somewhere? Oh, dingus. It's ridiculous. Oh no, there he goes. Maybe. Maybe. Mayhap. I don't know. I wish I had a villager, because then it would really, really make this happen faster. But Oh well, we'll see. All right, people, I need to end this episode and go to bed. So I've got teaching in the morning. And, maybe I'll get suspended this week. And maybe there will be a couple days where I'll be able to do more of this. I don't know. That honestly sounds kind of relaxing, if I'm being perfectly frank. You're suspended. Thank you. Oh, goodness. All right, people. Boop. That is it for this one. I have been Rem Pemberton of the Clemson Pembertons. You know the one. That is it for this one, and we will see you in the next one. Okay. Bye.